Hi, this is Dave Friedman with the Dave Friedman team. Thanks so much for watching. I've had a lot of questions around, should I sell my home to an investor? There's been a lot of news recently centered around investors buying homes. If you have the opportunity to sell to an investor, should you? There are pros and cons to both selling this way and selling on the open market. Let's cover all of those. The following are some things to know about, what it might mean to sell to an investor, and what you should consider before doing so. The difference between selling your home to, let's say, a family and selling it to an investor is what each intends to do with it after they purchase it. A family or individual buying the home is doing it so they can move into it. An investor wants to make money for themselves, although there are different ways for them to do that. For example, an investor might want to rent it out or flip the house and resell it shortly after buying it. Many Wall Street-backed institutions are investing in properties and even buying entire neighborhoods around the country right now. If an investor is going to buy and hold, meaning they might keep the investment for the long term and they're counting on perhaps rental income and property appreciation, they'll usually target a single family home and maybe condos. A buy and hold investor will often want the property that's already in pretty good shape. A house flipper will go for a house that's in poor condition, and they'll expect to get it at a price reflecting that too. If an investor approaches you and wants to buy your home, there are some upsides to this. These include no concerns about financing delays. The vast majority of buyers finance a purchase. That makes the transaction more complex and also more time-consuming. Financing issues are one of the most frequent reasons that a deal falls through. When someone is buying a home with a loan, it could take on average around 45 days to close. A real estate investor is likely going to pay cash, and you might be able to close in days rather than months. Investors will buy homes as is. Some investors target homes that need work, otherwise you might not be able to sell your home without making repairs and putting money into it that you might not have. When you sell to an investor, you don't have to do a lot of prep work. Basically, you can sell it to an investor before it hits the market, so there's no staging, no open houses, no showings to deal with, no repairs, no inspections, no financing. The biggest downside that comes with selling your home to an investor is the potential that you're going to sell for less money in many cases than you would on the open market. On the open market, buyers want to find a house they see as their home, and they might form an emotional commitment and connection to your property. That emotional connection can push them to pay a premium that an investor is not compelled to do. You might also personally not prefer to sell to an investor because you'd like to see your home go to somebody who's going to love it and appreciate it just as much as you. If you are debating whether or not selling to an investor is right for you, think about the following. Do you need to sell your home quickly? If you're on a tight timeline and faster is better, an investor might be more likely to facilitate that than an individual buyer. Is your home in good condition? Does it need work or repairs? If it does need a lot of work, selling to an investor who's going to flip it might end up being one of your only options. Flippers want as-is properties. If your home is in good enough condition, iBuyers might be interested, and we have our own iBuyer program that I can talk to you about also. Do you have the cash on hand to do repairs? If your home needs expensive repairs that you can't afford to make, it's going to be harder to find a traditional buyer that's financing and obtaining insurance. Finally, what are your plans? Do you already have a property you were hoping to buy already? If so, you may need the proceeds from the sale of your current home to make that happen. And with our iBuyer program, we can close very quickly within 7 days and allow you to live in the home for another 2 months. So that way you have cash in the bank and can make your transition into your new home very easily, and you'll have the cash on hand to make that happen. There's no correct answer as to whether or not you should sell to an investor. It's really all about your situation and what's right for you. In addition to that, when we're able to help sellers sell their home, close on it, and give them cash in the bank, and then they live there for another couple months, it allows them to make more aggressive offers on properties that they want to purchase because now they don't have to have a home sale contingency that's in there, which is unlikely to get accepted by a seller in today's market. But if you are selling your home, I'd like to introduce to you a new way to sell your home. We at the Dave Friedman team have multiple options for you to choose from. We'll get offers from multiple buyers to provide to you on our first meeting, and we'll also show you your list price to compare side by side with those other offers. And what we'll do is we'll actually break down all the costs associated with each option, how long each one will take to close, and then show you what your net proceeds would be. And sometimes you would be surprised that the buyer's offers that we can bring you up front are potentially a better option for you than putting your home on the market. So you can get all your selling options up front with 100% transparency. There's no need for open houses or repairs, and you control the closing date. If you have any questions, please call me at 843-972-3833 or email me at askdave@davefriedmanteam.com. I'm always willing to help. Thank you.